Something massive is happening for the Chicago Bears, and it could change everything about this Friday's matchup. Because the Philadelphia Eagles just dropped an injury report that shocked the entire NFL, and trust me, it's the kind of news Bears fans have been waiting for. The Eagles are dealing with 4 injured starters at the same time. 4 big names. 4 players who normally swing the momentum of games. And suddenly, they're not looking good for Friday. This could open the door wide for Chicago. But that's not the only surprise. Across the league, analysts are suddenly waking up to something Bears fans already noticed. Chicago's 2025 rookie class is being called one of the best in the NFL. Young, hungry, explosive, and already making an impact most teams can't match. Before we dive deeper, quick reminder to everyone watching: if you love the grind, the passion, and the rise of this team, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a Chicago Bears update. Now, let's talk about the biggest shock on that Eagles report. At the top of the list is a name every NFL fan knows: Saquon Barkley. A superstar. A former 2,000-yard monster. A player who usually powers through anything. But this time, he couldn't avoid the list. He's officially dealing with a groin issue, and the Eagles had to limit him in practice. And this changes everything. Barkley hasn't looked like the unstoppable version of last year. The burst has slowed. The workload is catching up. And now the injury is real at the worst possible time for Philadelphia. He's still given the Eagles decent production this season, but the Bears might not see him at full strength, or maybe not see him at all. And yes, the Eagles do have depth at running back, but none of them bring the same fear factor Barkley does. If he's out or limited, Chicago's defense gets a massive advantage. And that's only the beginning of what this matchup could become. So stay with me, because the next part of this story may be even bigger for the Bears. Now here's where things get interesting. Saquon Barkley being limited puts the Eagles in a strange spot. They're sitting comfortably at the top of their division, and even if they drop a game, it barely shakes their season. So the real question becomes, do they risk their star running back for one Friday matchup, or protect him from something worse? Chicago isn't assuming anything. They're preparing like Barkley will suit up, because they know exactly what kind of damage he can cause. One touch, and he's a threat to flip the field. That's the mindset inside Halas Hall. Expect the best version of him, even if he's not fully healthy. But if Barkley sits? Then the Bears get a completely different battle. Behind him is Tank Bigsby, and this is the kind of runner who doesn't need a big name to scare a defense. One glance at his numbers tells you everything: explosive on limited touches, dangerous in open space, and averaging a ridiculous 9.1 yards per carry. He hasn't found the end zone yet, but the way he runs? If he gets going early, that can become a serious problem for Chicago. And don't forget the Eagles' second rushing weapon, the one who doesn't stand in the backfield. Jalen Hurts. When the play breaks down, he becomes their most unpredictable runner. If the Bears don't have a spy on him at all times, he can turn a broken play into a backbreaking first down. That's why getting Kyler Gordon healthy is important, but if he can't go, C.J. Gardner-Johnson will have to take command of that responsibility. And just when you think the injury list couldn't get heavier for Philadelphia, it does. DeVonta Smith, one of the sharpest route runners in the league, is battling chest and shoulder issues and couldn't practice on Tuesday. When he's on the field, he's a nightmare to defend. When he's off the field, the entire Eagles' passing attack shifts. Smith has been one of Jalen Hurts' most trusted weapons this season: strong hands, clean routes, and the ability to turn a short catch into a long gain. If he doesn't play, that's a massive weight lifted off the Bears' secondary, especially with the middle of the defense already dealing with its own injuries. With T.J. Edwards and Noah Sewell not practicing, and Tremaine Edmonds stuck on IR, Chicago needs every break it can get in coverage. One less elite receiver to chase? That changes the way this matchup looks, and it gives the Bears' secondary a chance to take control. Stay with me, because there's another injury on this list that could tilt this game even more, and the injury problems don't stop with the Eagles' offense. Their secondary is taking hits too. One of the biggest names on that list is Reed Blankenship, nursing a thigh issue and only able to practice in a limited capacity. This is not a small loss. Blankenship has quietly become one of Philly's most dependable defensive backs, and whenever an opposing quarterback wants to push the ball downfield, he's usually the guy who shuts it down. He's physical, he's smart, and he's been part of every major moment for that defense the past few seasons. 50 tackles, an interception, a forced fumble, he's always around the ball. But a thigh injury? That slows anyone down, even the best. And if he's hobbling even a little, Caleb Williams can absolutely attack that side of the field. And speaking of Caleb, this might be the exact type of matchup he needs to make a statement the whole league hears. He's pacing toward a 4,000-yard season, and doing it against an Eagles defense missing key pieces would send a message no one can ignore. A win here doesn't just push Chicago to 9-3, it silences every critic who doubted this team's direction. But Blankenship isn't the only blow to Philadelphia's secondary. Andrew Mukuba, their promising young safety, is on the wrong side of the injury list too. Fresh off surgery, not practicing, and very likely unavailable for Friday. It's surprising he's not already on IR, because there's almost no chance he suits up in time. Mukuba was quickly becoming a major piece of the Eagles' defense, tackling, blitzing, jumping routes, doing everything they asked from a rookie. 2 picks, solid tackling numbers, and a role in Vic Fangio's pressure schemes. For him to be out? That's another opening for Chicago's passing game. Add it all up, and you're looking at 4 major defensive contributors either limited or sidelined for Philadelphia. 4 players who normally stabilize their defense, suddenly gone or compromised. And now we pivot to something Bears fans should be fired up about. Because while the Eagles are patching holes, Chicago's 2025 rookie class is exploding. Over the past few weeks, these young guys have stepped up, grown fast, and proven that the coaching staff, especially Ben Johnson, is building something real. Some analysts are already calling it one of the best classes in the entire league, and honestly, it's hard to argue. Stay with me, because what this rookie class has accomplished might be even bigger than you think. It's wild to think about how far Chicago's draft classes have come. Years ago, you hoped for 1 solid rookie, maybe 2 if everything went right. But now, under this new direction, the Bears are stacking classes that actually move the franchise forward. And this 2025 group might be the turning point. Let's start with the player who's taken the city by storm, Colston Loveland. The kid hasn't just lived up to expectations, he's blown through them. People wanted to compare him to other tight ends early in the season, but those conversations don't even make sense anymore. Loveland isn't just filling a role, he's becoming one of Chicago's most reliable weapons. Almost all his production has come in a short burst, but what a burst it's been: catches in traffic, big chunk plays, red zone touchdowns, and first downs at the perfect moments. He's physical, he's efficient, and he blocks with a toughness you can't teach. The connection between him and Cole Kmet is becoming one of the most underrated duos in the NFC. Loveland isn't just promising, he's arriving. And right behind him? Another young talent starting to heat up fast, Luther Burden. Every week, his role gets bigger. Every week, Ben Johnson trusts him a little more. And every week, defenses around the league realize they've got a real problem on their hands. He's explosive after the catch, smooth in space, and already showing the instincts of a veteran receiver. With Philadelphia's secondary banged up, this could be the matchup where Burden finally breaks loose in a massive way. You can feel it, that Luther Burden game is coming. He's been efficient, smart, and dangerous with every touch. And the best part? This is just the beginning for him. Together, Loveland and Burden are reshaping how this Bears offense attacks: fresh legs, young talent, and a whole lot of confidence. Stay with me, because the next rookie on this list might be the most surprising breakout of them all. Luther Burden's progress has been impressive, but he's not the only rookie turning heads. The Bears might have quietly uncovered the final piece of their offensive line, Ozzy Trapilo. He wasn't the flashiest pick back in April, but every time he steps on the field, he looks more and more like a long-term answer at tackle. In just over 100 snaps, he's allowed 0 sacks, 0 hits, 0 penalties, and barely any pressure at all. And he's done this while facing some of the toughest defenders in football: Max Crosby, Pittsburgh's front, and more. When a rookie holds his ground like that, you pay attention. If Chicago gives him the start this week, it might be the moment that proves whether he's ready to lock down that job permanently. And honestly, the kid looks like he's built for it. But the surprises don't stop there. Kyle Monangai, a 7th-round pick that barely made headlines on draft day, is suddenly one of the most exciting young backs in the NFC. Every carry looks like he's trying to prove a point. Every cut, every burst, every touchdown, he runs like he's trying to remind the league that they overlooked him. For touchdowns, nearly 5 yards a carry, and a streak that only legends like Anthony Thomas and Walter Payton have matched for a Bears rookie. For a 7th rounder? That's unreal value. And the best part? Half of this rookie class hasn't even taken the field yet. Injuries have sidelined Ruben Hippolyte, Shamar Turner, and Fraser, meaning Chicago is only seeing half of what this class could eventually become. 4 rookies already contributing. 3 more still waiting to debut. This is the kind of foundation that changes a franchise. So here we are, Chicago gaining momentum, the Eagles battling injuries, and the Bears' young core growing stronger every week. These aren't lucky breaks. This is development. This is coaching. This is a team starting to realize what it can become. And now, with a huge matchup approaching, everything is lined up for one more statement. Stay with me, because what comes next could be the moment that shifts the entire season.